The air hummed with the music of many tongues. Laughter spilled from doorways, seasoned with the aromas of distant lands. This was a country woven from threads of countless cultures. Each brought their own vibrant hues, their own unique melodies. The marketplace bustled with life. Stalls overflowed with spices, silks, and stories. Immigrants brought their skills and traditions. They wove themselves into the fabric of the nation. They enriched its tapestry with their dreams and their labor. Generations blended seamlessly. Children, born of immigrant parents, embraced their heritage. They also embraced the culture of their birth. They were bridges between worlds, living testaments to the country's vibrant diversity. This harmonious blend created a richness, a depth. It was a source of strength and innovation. It was a testament to the power of unity and diversity. A change began to creep in, subtle at first, like a whisper in the wind. It started with rhetoric. Politicians spoke of protecting the nation's identity. They spoke of taking back control, their words laced with fear. This fear-mongering resonated with some. It awakened a latent anxiety about change. The whispers grew louder, evolving into a chorus of discontent. Soon the rhetoric transformed into policy. New laws were enacted, targeting immigrants. Visas became harder to obtain, borders tightened, the once welcoming doors of the nation began to close. The changes were gradual, almost imperceptible at first, but with each passing day, the fabric of the diverse nation began to fray. The vibrant colors dulled, the music subdued. Thomas, a carpenter who had arrived decades ago, felt the shift keenly. He had built a life in this country, brick by brick, dream by dream. He had witnessed the beauty of its diversity, the strength of its unity. Now, he watched in growing despair as his world began to unravel. His neighbors, friends he had known for years, started to disappear. Their laughter was replaced by an unsettling silence. The once familiar streets, once alive with the chatter of different languages, felt eerily quiet. The aroma of spices, once a comforting reminder of home, now carried a hint of loss. Thomas felt a deep sense of unease settle over him. He knew with a certainty that chilled him to the bone that something precious was slipping away. Driven by a need to bear witness, Thomas began to write. He wrote of the vibrant community he had known, the one that was slowly being dismantled. He wrote of the laughter, the music, the stories. He wrote of the fear he saw in the eyes of his neighbors, the uncertainty that clouded their futures. He wrote of the empty spaces left behind, the echoing silence that spoke volumes. His words were a testament to the human cost of intolerance. They were a chronicle of loss, a poignant reminder of what was at stake. He shared his writings with anyone who would listen. He read them aloud in cafes, his voice trembling with emotion. He pasted them on walls, hoping to spark a flicker of recognition, a glimmer of hope. Thomas's writings, once a solitary act of defiance, resonated with others. Those who had remained silent found their voices. They too had stories to tell, stories of loss, of fear, of injustice. A small but determined group began to gather. They met in secret, sharing their stories, their anxieties, their hopes. They distributed Thomas's writings, spreading his message of resistance. Their actions did not go unnoticed. The authorities, threatened by this burgeoning dissent, cracked down hard. Meetings were raided, voices were silenced. Thomas and his supporters were labeled as troublemakers, as enemies of the state. They were accused of inciting unrest, of undermining national unity. Fear cast a long shadow over the community. Many, afraid of the consequences, retreated into silence. But Thomas refused to be cowed. He continued to write, his words now imbued with a new sense of urgency. He knew the risks, knew that his actions could have dire consequences. But he also knew that silence was not an option. He had seen the cost of inaction, the devastating impact of indifference. He continued to write, even as the walls closed in around him. He wrote of the importance of speaking truth to power, of resisting oppression in all its forms. His words, smuggled out of the country, found their way onto the internet. They were translated into numerous languages, shared and reshared, becoming a beacon of hope in a world increasingly shrouded in darkness. Thomas was eventually arrested, his voice silenced within the confines of a prison cell. But his words continued to resonate, echoing far beyond the prison walls. His story, a testament to the power of one voice, sparked a global outcry. People around the world rallied to his cause, demanding his release and an end to the oppressive policies of his government. Inside the country, a new generation of activists emerged, inspired by Thomas's courage and his unwavering belief in the power of words to effect change. They organized protests, demanding justice and equality. They refused to be silenced. They refused to let fear extinguish the flame of hope that Thomas had ignited. His words, once whispered in hushed tones, were now chanted in the streets. The country, once a beacon of diversity, paid a heavy price for its turn towards intolerance. The economy, deprived of the skills and innovation brought by immigrants, stagnated. The social fabric, weakened by suspicion and distrust, began to unravel. The once vibrant tapestry of cultures faded, leaving behind a pale imitation of its former glory. The country became a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the dangers of succumbing to fear and division. It stood as a testament to the enduring truth that diversity is not a weakness to be feared, but a strength to be celebrated. The legacy of the government's actions would continue to cast a long shadow, a reminder of the fragility of tolerance and the importance of safeguarding human rights. Thomas's story is a reminder that a nation is not defined by its borders or by slogans of exclusion, but by the collective spirit of its people. It is a story about the enduring power of hope, of the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. It is a call to action, a reminder that we must never take our freedoms for granted, that we must always be vigilant in protecting the rights of all people, regardless of their origin or beliefs. For in the tapestry of humanity, we are all interconnected. Our stories, though unique, are woven together by common threads of hope, of resilience, of the enduring belief in a better tomorrow. It is in embracing our shared humanity, in celebrating our differences while recognizing our common ground, that we build a more just and equitable world for all.